And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today we're going to be talking about the Pro Bowl selection for Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. We're also going to be talking about one key thing that the Washington Commanders are going to need to do in order to beat the Dallas Cowboys coming up here in this Sunday game. And so let's start with the Pro Bowl selection with both Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. And so starting with Jayden Daniels, first and foremost, this is the first time since a quarterback and a wide receiver have been in the Pro Bowl for Washington since Mark Rypien and Gary Clark. We know how spectacular that connection was. Obviously, those two players played in the Super Bowl. But starting with Jayden Daniels, he is joining some elite company at this point in time with this Pro Bowl selection. He is the first rookie for the Washington franchise to be in the Pro Bowl since 2020, and that was Chase Young. But you look at the elite company that he joins as far as quarterbacks. Look, he's in there with Kirk Cousins, Brad Johnson, Gus Frerotte, Mark Rypien, Jay Schroeder, and Joe Theismann. You see Billy Kilmer. Like, these are all very good players historically for the Washington franchise. And so Jayden Daniels punching his ticket to the Pro Bowl. This has been a special season for him. And Jayden Daniels, just in general, look, getting the Pro Bowl selection, it's almost like it was a foregone conclusion here, but it also, I think, is a foregone conclusion that he is going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year this season, because I talked about the fact that, yes, with 12 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter and overtime, the most by a rookie in NFL history. But here is some more statistics for you. Look, he has 5 touchdown passes in the final 30 seconds of regulation or overtime, 2 more than any quarterback, rookie or veteran, has had in any single season since the 1970 merger. And on top of that, with what Jayden Daniels was able to do last week against the Atlanta Falcons, and then also too with the Eagles, coming back from at least a 10-point deficit, Daniels becomes just the 5th quarterback since 1950 to lead his team in back-to-back double-digit comeback wins, and the first since Andrew Luck did this in 2020 or 2012. And then on top of that, with his game against the Falcons this last time out, he became the first quarterback, rookie or not, with at least 3 passing touchdowns and 100 yards rushing in a primetime game. So Jayden Daniels, not only did he punch his ticket, I think, as a Pro Bowler, he certainly has punched his ticket as, I think, the Rookie of the Year. Next up, Terry McLaurin. And so Terry McLaurin has been special for the Washington Commanders since day one. And what I find most impressive about Terry McLaurin, because this is his second time being selected to the Pro Bowl. I think his last time was 2022, but he has now officially played with 11 different quarterbacks. He's played with Case Keenum, Dwayne Haskins, Colt McCoy, Alex Smith, Cal Allen, Tyler Heineke, Garrett Gilbert, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Carson Wentz, Sam Howell, and now Jayden Daniels. And this guy has found a way to get 1,000 yards in those seasons. And it's only been 1 year, I believe, that he hasn't had 1,000 yards. I want to say it's his rookie season. He was 81 yards short, but somehow, some way, this guy finds a way to get 1,000 yards, and he did get 1,000 here this last weekend, I believe, in this last game that he played. So he's over 1,000 officially. But you see the elite company that he joins, because he joins Gary Clark. Gary Clark, he was a Super Bowl champion. You see that he joins Art Monk. He was terrific for the Washington Commanders. You have Charlie Brown as well, Charlie Taylor. Like, these were all elite wide receivers for this Washington franchise. And on top of that, look, he's the first Pro Bowl wide receiver that has done this in a while. Like, we haven't had this happen since Santana Moss, who was a Pro Bowler in 2005, and Santana Moss was very good. And so this is very much well-deserved for both of these players. And you can see just the type of year that the Washington Commanders have had, because look at the alternates that we have here. You have Bobby Wagner. He's a first alternate. You have Tyler Alt. You see Tyler Biadasz. He's a second alternate. Like, this is just the type of year that the Washington Commanders have had. This has been huge, but it is good to see that we officially have Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are into the Pro Bowl. And if you want to know where they're at as far as the roster selection right now, look, Jayden Daniels is not going to be starting. I think he's listed as the second quarterback on the roster. You have Jared Goff, who's ahead of him. Then it's Sam Darnold under him. And then as far as the wide receivers are concerned, you have Justin Jefferson, you have St. Brown from Detroit, and then you also have CeeDee Lamb, and then it is Terry McLaurin. And so that is where they stacked up as far as the starters and, who's coming off the bench or whatnot. And so either way, the Washington Commanders have two players that officially make the Pro Bowl. Hopefully we do see some more out there for that game. And so that leads me to the next portion of the show here, and that is talking about one major key takeaway that the Washington Commanders need to do as they get ready to take on the Dallas Cowboys, because I know that the Dallas Cowboys are coming into this game. Obviously, they don't have very much to play for at this point. They're not going to make the playoffs, but there is still a lot on the line for the Washington Commanders. I honestly think that it is important that they keep the 6th seed, out of the teams that they could play. I like them against each team. I definitely like them against the Rams. I like them even against the Buccaneers after the first week, because this is a much different football team than we saw in week 1. And I know that if we have to go and play the Eagles, I definitely believe that the Washington Commanders can get this one. But I think it is going to really help this team get off to a good start if they have to start with the Los Angeles Rams. And so with that being said, going into this game, I think that the first major key takeaway, we're going to talk about some more in some future videos, but it is going to be the Washington Commanders have got to come out and they have got to not play down to the competition. That means getting off to a good start, because the last time that we played the Dallas Cowboys at home in that game, we had 5 times in the Dallas territory and we only came up with 3 points. That is unacceptable. And that means in this particular game, you cannot do that against the Dallas Cowboys. You've got to come out early and often, and you've got to put it on the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully we are able to maybe shut it down in this game, but I think that that is critical for the Washington Commanders not to play down to the competition. And this also means, too, you cannot mentally check out in this game, because the last game that the Washington Commanders played against the Dallas Cowboys, they had 8 penalties for 78 yards. And so you've got to come out. You need to make sure that you concentrate. On top of that, we lost the fumble. We had 2 interceptions there, so we lost the turnover battle. That comes down to focus as well. So those are things that the Washington Commanders are going to need to clean up. And then when you talk about coming out and really just getting on top of a team, that means that you establish your identity. In this last game against the Dallas Cowboys, in which we get beat 34-26, we lost the time of possession battle. And just generally, when we lose the time of possession battle, it hasn't worked out very well for the Washington Commanders. In fact, in this particular football game against the Dallas Cowboys, we lost that time of possession 35-12 to 24-48. That's what the total was, where the Washington Commanders lose the time of possession battle. And so once again, the Washington Commanders are going to have to get out on top of the Dallas Cowboys early. That is the first key takeaway going into this game, a game that is going to be important for the Washington Commanders here. And also, too, I think it is a bit important for the Dallas Cowboys, because make no mistake about it, you have Coach McCarthy who's coming into this one. This essentially is his last game on the contract. And I have to think that he's probably maybe playing for his job. Who knows? There's a lot of speculation out there. You also have a lot of players that are probably auditioning, trying to see if they're going to get a contract back with the Dallas Cowboys, or perhaps you're auditioning for another team in the league. And so there is still very much to play for if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan out there. But again, this is Washington Commanders Insider here. And so either way, I want to see this team get out early on top of the Dallas Cowboys, take care of business, and secure that 6th seed. So let me know in the comments what you think about Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin securing these Pro Bowl selections and being in the Pro Bowl officially. Also, to the alternates that we have on the list, make sure you go back and check that out in the video. Once again, this is Rico. This is Washington Commanders Insider. I'm back. I love to talk about these Washington Commanders. We'll be talking a little bit more about some keys to beating the Dallas Cowboys here on this next video. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Peace. Go Commanders. Peace.